welcome. My name is Toni Minard, and this is chair yoga to build strength, endurance, and create flexibility in the body, as well as being a wonderful form of exercise for the mind. So let's get started. Today you will need a strap or a belt. It could even be a men's tie, just anything about as long as a men's tie. Like I said, a scarf, a bathrobe tie, or if you have a yoga strap, go ahead and just set that aside. We won't need that till a little bit later. And of course you'll need a chair. This is chair yoga. You want to make sure that it's nice and comfortable. You can sit back, and that whenever you sit on it, your knees are in line with your hips. So if you find that your knees are higher, you might need to elevate the hips by sitting up on something. And if you find that your knees are lower than your hips, you might need to put something under your feet, like two books. And let's just sit back and get nice and comfortable, sitting up tall, but not stiff. And you can just bring your hands to rest in your lap. I like to open my hands up towards the sky. Close your eyes or gaze softly at the floor. Let's just take a moment to connect with the breath. In other words, just locate the breath. Let's start with the nostrils. Just noticing the breath coming in and out of the nostrils for a few rounds. Notice the way the nostrils flare and relax with each breath. Inhaling, opening up, and exhaling, releasing and relaxing. Really feel the way the air comes in through the nostrils, the little hairs dancing around with the breath as it flows. And start to notice the breath coming into the nasal passages, cleaning them out with fresh breath, and then releasing the breath. Just imagine the nasal passages opening up, expanding with the in-breath, and then relaxing and contracting with the out-breath. And then start to notice the breath as it moves into the chest, the lungs. The inhale, opening the lungs like an umbrella. And then the out breath, the lungs contracting like an umbrella closing. Just follow this breath in your chest and lungs. You can even picture that umbrella opening with the in-breath and closing with the out-breath. And then as you start to bring that breath even deeper, maybe you notice it coming down into the belly region. You might want to picture the belly like a balloon. And as you inhale, eventually that air reaches to the balloon and it inflates. And then as you exhale and you empty that or deflate that balloon, the belly and balloon start to flatten. Don't force this, let it flow. We're not judging or correcting it, we're just noticing it. If it stresses you to think of that coming into the belly, just take your attention back to the chest and just imagine the expansion with the inhale and then the contraction with the exhale. One more breath like this. And then we're going to open our eyes and move to the edge of our chair. And again, sitting up nice and tall. And start to walk your feet forward just so you can see your toes over your knees. And we want to keep that position throughout this yoga practice. Our knees are about hip distance. We're going to lift our toes and spread them, kind of web them out. Start to connect the feet to the earth. Think about the big toe mound, little toe mound, heel. Even if they're in your shoes, really start to press them into the earth and spread and web out the toes. That's actually going to flex muscles and send energy up the legs. And then we're going to bring our attention to the two sits bones and just kind of rock back and forth until you find that even weight distribution. And then we're going to bring our attention to the lower belly, the navel area, and just imagine you're cinching it in gently like a light or loose girdle, but not so tight that you can't breathe freely. And then we're going to bring the attention to our shoulders. Most of our shoulders are coming forward and slightly up, so we want to bring them gently, guide them back, just in line with our hips, and then gently guide them down. Let your hands fall out to the sides, opening the palms forward. If that bothers your arms, you can rest some palms up on the thighs. And then your ears may be forward like this. We want to imagine our ear holes just over our shoulders. It might be a slight double chin, that's okay. And then I want you to, as you root down into the sits bones and into the feet, I want you to rise up from the crown towards the sky. So you can imagine a string tied to your crown of your head, and I'm going to hook it up to your ceiling, and I'm going to pull for traction. This is mountain pose. Let's take a nice few breaths here. Inhaling and maybe becoming even taller. And then exhaling, releasing that air out. All right, now we're going to start to warm up the fascia. So the fascia is, it's almost like silver skin on a roast. And what it does is as we age, it becomes tighter and it dries out and it becomes stiff. We want to keep it like taffy that is heated and that it is pliable and flexible, because that fascia is over all of your muscles and your tendons. And if it's tight and stiff, then your muscles and your tendons will be tight and stiff. And so we're going to start to just think about taffy. We're going to start to pull on it and stretch it and warm it up. And we're going to start with, believe it or not, the earlobes. And what that's going to do is it's going to loosen up the let's think of it as taffy, the fascia taffy in the neck, which is going to release the shoulders. So I just want you to take your pointer and your thumb and start to squeeze the earlobes and wiggle them, kind of pull on them. And then work your way all the way up to the very top round section near your head. And then go back down towards the earlobes. And again, we're wiggling, squeezing, and pulling all the way up and all the way down. And we're going to continue to do that until your ears start to feel warm and kind of fuzzy. That means that that fascia is warming up, and you'll know you're done. So it's going to be different for everyone. So just keep doing it till you feel warmth in the ears. And then you can just wait a moment here as we wait for everyone to get to that point. Like I said, it's a different amount of time for everybody. The good thing about this fascia release is that you can do it every day, because every morning the fascia is stiff. That's why you're stiffer in the morning than you are once you get moving, because you've warmed up that fascia. So this is a little trick to get the neck loose. And I like to tell people, try this next time you get in your car, and that will help you to turn your neck a little bit better. All right, so your ears probably are about ready now. They're nice and warm. And now we are going to warm up the fascia in the forearms, which is again going to go up into the shoulders and the neck. So you're going to just take your finger and you're going to pull it and wiggle it. It's kind of like you're popping your knuckles when you were little, but not quite. So you're kind of shaking the whole hand. And then when you get to the pinky, just work your way back up. Let's do that one more time. So you're gently pulling and wiggling it. The whole hand is shaking. You shake out that hand and then start on the other side. So you can you really only need one of these. You can just do the ears or just do the fingers. I'm going to show you actually a third one, and that will loosen up your neck. But I'm going to go ahead and show you all three. We'll have nice loose necks today. And you can use any of these when you get in your car next time, or anytime you really feel like your neck is stiff, and shake it out. And now we're gonna go up into the forearm a little bit more. So I'm just gonna start to rub it. So if any of you watched wrestling in the 70s, you remember the Indian rub? It's kind of like that. We want it to kind of get warm and fuzzy, starting to break that up. And then we're gonna take that hand and we're just gonna place it on top of that arm. Try to straighten the arm out and just gently guide the hand back and under so my palm's facing you, and shake it out. And then we'll get the other side. So Indian rub, that forearm out. And then straighten that arm, gently guide those fingers back and shake it out. And now just kind of note your neck and just see if it feels a little bit looser than it used to. Good. And now we're gonna do, so we've warmed up that fascia. We're gonna go into the fascia in the lower back now. That causes a lot of back problems. So this is a gentle little fascia release you can do every day, and also exercises the muscles in the back. It's called cat-cow. So when you inhale, you just start to arch your back, just ever so slightly. And it's the lower back we're working on. And as you exhale, you start to round that back. So there's like a pelvic tilt going on here. So with the breath, we inhale and arch, and we always move with the breath in yoga. And we exhale and round. And just continue to do this movement with your breath. You may be at a different pace than me. You don't have to keep up with me. You might be faster, you might be slower. Depends on your breath. Really flow with the breath. So when we flow with the breath, we're concentrating on the breath, which is meditation. It's meditation and movement, which is wonderful for the nervous system. It builds a more resilient nervous system, which will help you next time you're under stress. You'll be able to come back out of that fight or flight and into the rest and digest stage. So you're going to be more resilient, more flexible in the mind, in the nervous system. Just one of the many benefits to yoga. Continue to flow with the breath. We're just warming up that fascia, and just like taffy, just like taffy, as if you've ever watched those candy shops in Savannah or Charleston, as they're pulling that taffy, it starts to become more, at first, it's just they're warming it up, and then they're pulling it, and then it gets warmer and warmer and stretchier and stretchier. And then when they set it down, it hardens. So we're gonna keep it moving, just like taffy. Keep it moving so it doesn't have a chance to harden. And we do this every day. We just use our bodies. If you don't use it, you lose it. And then coming back up. Another thing to keep the fascia nice and pliable and flexible is to make sure you're getting enough liquids, okay? And I know that's difficult when you have to use the restroom a lot. So here's my little hint and my little trick. When I'm home, I drink like crazy. So that way when I'm out, I don't have to worry about looking for a bathroom. So I hydrate as long as I'm home. And then I don't have to worry so much about it when I'm out. And then let's just start to get into the knees. Let's just gently kicking out the knees. We're just kind of rocking them. You can go ahead and do that with one leg, just till those knees feel a little bit looser. And then the other one. And this is a wonderful little exercise for the knees. You can sit up on a table and just swing your legs for about 5 minutes. It does wonders for the knees, and it puts no pressure on them. So really anybody can do this, even if you have knee problems. Of course, check with your doctor first. And get the other side. Just 5 minutes a day is all you need. All right, let's find our mountain pose. Make sure you can see your toes. Sitting up nice and tall, find that mountain pose. All right, now we're gonna do a neck release. So the neck is very fragile, and especially as we age, actually after the age of 40, everything starts to become constricted, and you have a much higher chance of getting an injury in the neck, or even affecting these blood vessels, which can affect all kinds of things, even stroke. So not to scare anybody, but we wanna be really careful. We never wanna do neck rolls. Remember those neck rolls? We never wanna do those, especially after the age of 40. I personally never do neck rolls. So I'm gonna give you an alternative to neck rolls. This is a chiropractor trick, but yoga's been doing it for probably thousands of years, so we're finally catching up. All right, so find your mountain pose, and that is important. We want a tall spine. We want everything in line like we were doing earlier. Take a nice cleansing breath. And then we're going to start to guide the chin back, almost like you're getting a double chin. And then gently guide that chin down. Okay, once you feel that, start to lower your right ear down towards your right shoulder. Keep that chin tucked in. And we're just going to hold this for a few breaths. Make sure you're breathing. We never want to hold the breath. That's really bad for your heart. Breathe freely. And now you can take the opposite hand, the left hand, and kind of let it stretch and drop out to the left side. You'll feel a deeper stretch. So this is stretching the left side of the neck as we're bringing the right ear down. Chin is tucked in. And then come back into the center and just steady yourself. Take a few breaths. So this does the same thing as neck rolls, but it's much safer. Take a nice cleansing breath. And then one more inhale. And then as we exhale, start to tuck that chin back and down. And then release your left ear down towards the left shoulder, chin tucked. Release the right arm out to the right side. Make sure you're breathing. You might feel like you want to hold your breath because you're kind of constricting the neck, but don't hold your breath. Very bad for the heart, for the nervous system. When you hold your breath, you go into that fight or flight sympathetic system, creating cortisol in the body. So whenever we keep our body breathing, we're basically telling it everything's okay, even if it's not. Releasing you into the parasympathetic system. Breath is magical. And then coming back up. Take a nice tall inhale. When I say tall inhale, everything lengthens, and then just exhale, let it release. All right, so now we've kind of warmed up all of the fascia in the main parts of the body, and we're gonna start to flow with some sun salutations. So I'm gonna take a moment here, make sure I'm on the edge of my chair, even though I probably already am, and I'm gonna find my mountain pose. And we're just gonna start to flow with the breath. It's important that you flow with the breath, but don't stress about it. If that is making you anxious, kind of defeats the purpose. So just make sure you're breathing. That's all I ask, no holding the breath. And so with the inhale, if you'd like, lift the arms up, and the heart and the chest lift with you. Most of us are not gonna lift the neck up, because that causes constriction in the back of the neck, unless you feel that you have that openness there. And then we're gonna exhale, we're just gonna hinge forward. When I say hinge, that means the back stays straight. We're just holding with the hips. And then we're gonna inhale back up. Hands come together. And then exhale with your arms out like wings, hinge forward. And then turn those hands up and inhale up. If it hurts your back, don't go as deep. We never wanna hurt the back. And also cinch that waist in, that's gonna protect your spine. Inhale up, exhale, fold or hinge forward. Inhale up, bring the palms together and down the center line of the body. This is called namaste, thumbs resting at your breastbone. Take a moment here, catch your breath. Now we're gonna fold to our thighs and we're gonna twist. So inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, this is called swan dive. So fold forward, place your right hand or elbow on your right thigh. Exhale. And then on your inhale, twist to your left. And then exhale, come back into the center, placing the left elbow on the left thigh. And with the inhale, twist to your right. So when you flow with the breath, it actually makes it easier and it's more natural. Exhale, center. Inhale, twisting to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale, twisting to the right. And there should be no pain here in the back at all. And inhale to the left. Exhale, center. And inhale to the right. Exhale, center. Press into your feet, spread your fingers, scoop your belly out, and swan dive up. Hands come together, and exhale to heart center. And let's shake it all out. Let's do a nice stretch for those posture muscles along the back. And this is called kissing the knee. We're just gonna kiss each knee 3 times. It's okay if you don't actually reach it, but you're going towards that position. Inhale, center. Exhale, kiss the other knee. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time with the breath. Each time sitting up tall. And inhale, sit up tall, find your mountain pose. Just remind yourself why you're here today, why you turned this video on, what you're doing for yourself. And then we're gonna do some chair squats. So to do the chair squats, we're gonna start with the beginner stage, which is glute squeezes. And then we're gonna go to the second stage. If you're not ready yet, you're just gonna repeat stage 1, or you can take a break. I promise you're gonna build the glutes up, you're gonna build those quads up, and eventually you'll be able to lift up off your seat. This is very important because this is one of the markers for independence. You are still okay with independent living as long as you can get up and out of your chair 10 times. So that's what we're working towards. Don't stress if you don't get there today. I promise if you continue with this regularly, you will build those muscles up. So no worries, let's get going. The first one, we're just gonna take an inhale, sit up nice and tall. And then as we exhale, let's squeeze the hands together and squeeze the glutes like you're squeezing your butt cheeks. And then inhale and then release. All right, let's just squeeze and release. Just make sure you're breathing. Squeeze, release. We're gonna do 10 and release. Squeeze, release. Breathing smoothly. 5 and 4. So I'm kind of leaning forward like I'm gonna get up, but not quite. 2 and 1. Let's hold this one for 3, 2, 1. Release. Shake it all out, baby. Shake it out. Loosen up those joints. All right. Now, you're gonna continue with that, or you can take a break here if you're out of breath. If you feel sore, take a break. Otherwise, we're gonna lift up out of the chair, and I'm just gonna give you some little pointers here. I'm gonna turn the chair so you can see what I'm doing. When I lift up, my knees do not go past my toes. We never wanna pronate the knees. So how do I do that? I stick my butt out behind me. You could bring your hands to your thighs. This is a squat. This is not. This is bad for the knees. That's a squat. And then I sit down with that butt still sticking out behind me. Now you can have your hands on your thighs, you can have namaste hands, you can reach your arms out in front. You might do 1 today, might do 3, might do 5, might do 10. Working towards 10, you might still be squeezing. That's okay, let's get going. And 10. I'm gonna show you different options here. 9, 8, 7, any of these hand positions. 6, my butt's way out. 5, you can take a break here, guys. 10, 5, sorry, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if you can hold it. Sit back down. Sit back. Take a moment to catch your breath. Notice how your body feels. And then open your eyes and stand up. And see if you can shake it out. Kind of like a dog shaking that water off each side. And that's good for the joints to do that. And now we're gonna face the seat. We're gonna do a forward fold. Any of these forward folds, if you have high blood pressure, you don't want your head to go past your heart, so you can adjust. We're gonna try to bring our hands or our forearms, maybe even our head, to the seat of the chair. But we don't have to. That's not our goal, okay, guys? It's not the goal. Our goal is to fold forward. So again, if you have high blood pressure, the head doesn't go past the heart. You might want to grab a pillow and put it there just to bring the seat closer to you. That's called a prop in yoga. It's not cheating. And it helps your head to rest. So we're going to stand facing the chair seat. First, we're going to check in with our mountain pose. So I want to line up my knees to my ankles, my hips to my knees, my ear holes over my shoulders. My shoulders are over my hips. And then I'm going to root down through the feet and rise up through the crown. My kneecaps slightly lift, and then my navel gently draws back. is mountain pose. Now let's inhale. If you have the balance, bring your arms overhead. If you don't, that's okay. And then we're gonna exhale and we're gonna just fold to the back of the chair. Just hold on to that. Now this might be it for you. Let your head kind of relax. And if this is it for you, you have high blood pressure, stay here. Otherwise, bring your hands to the chair. Bend the knees as much as you need to, and then just let the crown drop towards the seat. You could come down to your forearms. You should feel a nice stretch, maybe a little uncomfortable, but no pain in the backs of the legs. Scoop your navel back towards the spine. That's going to protect your back. And again, bend the knees as much as you need to. And let's just let gravity work its magic. I'm going to kind of rest my head on the seat. When we come up here in a second, we want to be very slow so we don't get dizzy. And so we're going to bend those knees. We're going to take it like inch by inch, coming back up to the hands. Maybe onto spider fingers. And then to the back of the chair, scoop your belly out, bend those knees, slowly roll up. The last thing to come up is the head. Take a moment here, and then shake it out. All right, and now we're gonna do the same thing, but with wide legs. Now when I say wide legs, just wider than normal. It might be just past your hips. You might have the flexibility to go even wider. We want to check in with our feet. We don't want our toes going out. We don't really want the toes going in. You want your feet nice and straight. So that might prevent you from going as wide as you'd like. So check in with that. We want a softness in the knees, but we don't want the knees caving in. We don't want to come onto the insides of the feet. We want to keep the feet nice and steady from the outside to the inside. There's even weight distribution between the pinky toe side and the big toe side. I know that's a lot of preparation here, but it's important. We want to protect our knees and our ankles. So bring your feet wide, just wider than normal or as wide as you like. Put a softness in the knees and kind of add a little buoyancy here, like a buoy on the ocean. And then as we stick our butt out, we're going to hinge forward with a straight back. And you might just come to the back of the chair, like I said earlier. You might bring your hands down and let your head hang. You might come to your forearms. You should feel a nice stretch. There should be no pinching in the spine. Bend those knees if it is. Scoop your navel towards the spine. Maybe you can start to straighten the legs. You don't have to. And just breathe here. You can come up whenever you need to. You're not stuck here. You're never stuck in a yoga position. You can come out of it anytime. Your body is your greatest teacher. I'm always drawing my navel towards the spine. That protects the back. And I'm always breathing freely and fully. And we're going to start to come back up. So I'm going to start to bend those knees again. If they're not already bent, I'm going to come up to the hands. Take a breath. Maybe I come up to the fingertips. Maybe to the back of the chair. And then just take your time stepping it in, coming up. Take a breath. Make sure you're not dizzy. And shake it off. All right. So now we're going to come to the side of the chair. So I have one hand on the back of the chair. And I'm going to take the leg that's the inner leg, the leg that's closest to the hand that's on the back of the chair, and I'm going to put it up on the chair. Now I have one student that couldn't do this at first, so she would put her foot on the little bar on her chair. If you don't have one, you can even use a footstool or books, working your way eventually up here, okay? So this is stretching this right leg. It's also putting a nice stretch in this left leg, this hip flexor. Try to sit up tall and just stay here. Put a softness in that standing knee, okay? We don't want to lock that knee. And then you can, if you want to go deeper, you can reach this right arm up overhead. You don't have to. And just breathe. You can look at a spot on the floor and breathe. And now we are going to twist open to the right. So my left hand stays secure. I'm going to bring my right hand to my shoulder. And with the inhale, nice and tall, stand up, and then exhale, just twist open to the right. Inhale back into the center. And exhale, twist to the right. If this is hurting your knee, then just skip the twist part. Back into the center. We're gonna be very careful as we release that leg. Get our balance and shake it out. And now we're gonna go to the other side of the chair. So I'm just gonna turn the chair so you can see. Grabbing onto the chair now with the right hand, and the right foot comes up on the chair. And even here, I can see my toes when I look down past my knee. I never want to pronate, even here. All right, take a moment to breathe and stand up nice and tall. Try not to sink into the hip. You can put a softness in that standing knee. Maybe you inhale and lift that left arm up and take a few breaths here. Looking at a spot in front of you. You can just stay here, or you can bring your hand to the shoulder, and on your next inhale, just kind of gently twist open to the left. Don't overdo it. And then exhale back to the center. Watch your left knee, make sure that doesn't hurt. Inhale, twisting to the left. And exhale back into the center. Take a moment here. And then we're gonna release out of this pose, and we're gonna shake it out. All right, we've got one more thing we're gonna do here. We're gonna do downward dog. So I'm gonna give you two options, the back of your chair. We're gonna do this 3 times. Or if you wanna go deeper, hands to the chair, the back of the seat of the chair. And this is an inversion, so if you have high blood pressure, head doesn't go past the heart. So I'm gonna show you 2 times with the back, and then I'm just gonna flip it around, but you choose whatever you think works for you. So we start in mountain pose, that's very important. And we wanna breathe a nice tallness with the body, like a mountain. And then coming into volcano, the arms explode, reaching up and out. And then we're gonna exhale, and we're gonna start to fold, and we're gonna bring the hands to the back of the chair and walk the feet back. So it's like an L shape on its side. And then start to bend those knees, maybe bring the feet wider, and then just come into that L shape. Feel a nice stretch along the back. And your next inhale, slowly come up and walk it back in. Take a moment here and shake it out. Always shaking out those joints so we don't get stiff. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale and exhale into downward dog. Bend those knees so that you can stick that butt out and up. The butt reaches towards the sky. Your next inhale walks it back in and shake it out. I'm just going to show you what it looks like with the C. This is for the more flexible. Inhale, arms reaching up, and then exhale, folding forward. This time the hands, if I like, come to the back of the chair seat. So as you can see, I can fold deeper. This may not be good if you have high blood pressure. And then slowly walking it back in and coming back up. Take a moment here, catch your breath, and sit down. Sit back and catch your breath. And let's get our strap or belt. So I've done it before on this video. I've shown you how you can use anything for this. You can even I had a hoodie on one day and I kind of rolled it up and used that. So anything. I've been to yoga classes before. I forgot my strap and I have a scarf on and I used my scarf. I've used that little tie that goes around the yoga belt. The only thing you don't want is something too stretchy, like those, rubbery stretchy bands, because if you let go of it, it can kind of pop and hit you. I saw that happen in yoga class yesterday, actually. And the other reason is because we don't want too much stretchiness. This has a little stretch to it, but not too much, because then you might be stretching that more than your actual body. So we're gonna come to the edge of our chair and sit up nice and tall. And this is called back therapy. Okay, everything we're gonna do here is going to be good for the back. It releases the hamstrings, the hips, the glutes, piriformis muscle. So it's especially good for sciatica, but really any back injury or back issues or back pain. And if you don't have it, as we age, those things become tight, and as we loosen and open them up, we're preventing that. So this is just a wonderful little sequence here. So we're gonna take our strap, and you're just gonna fold it in half, so even, and this one has a loop on it, but most straps don't. I don't know why I grabbed this one. And you're just gonna loop the strap around your right foot, not on the arch, that can not be good for the plantar fascia, but on the ball mount, just below the toes. And then you're gonna take the strap with both hands, and you're just gonna try to stretch your leg long. You might be down here, guys. Try not to lean forward though, like this, so make sure your strap is nice and long. Maybe you can lift the foot up. Lift it up as far as you comfortably can. Now you might kind of lean back, but as long as you're not rounding back and your heart is lifted, you can lean back into the chair. And just stretch out that leg. I like to kind of flex my foot like I'm pushing the brakes or the gas pedal. And you can even take your foot and point and flex if that feels good. The more you flex it, toes towards your shin, the deeper the stretch on the back of the legs, which is what we're going for here. And again, you might be down here, and that's okay, don't judge. You might have your foot on the floor still and you're just straightening it out. And I have lots of students who are still here, and that's fine. And now we're gonna open this leg out to the right side. So we're gonna take the strap in the right hand, and again, you might have your foot on the floor. Try to keep the leg straight if you can. Maybe you're up here. Whatever you do, we're just opening it out to the right side. Now you can hold on with your left hand onto your chair, or if you'd like a deeper stretch, stretch that left arm out and up. And then if it doesn't hurt your neck at all, you can start to turn your neck towards the hand. That's an even deeper stretch. But it's okay if you're here. Again, the same thing. And then we're gonna slowly come back into the center. And we are gonna start to lift the foot up, bend the knee. We're gonna place the ankle on top of the left thigh knee area. This is called pigeon pose. If you can't get here, that's okay. I'm gonna give you an alternative. You cross the ankle in front of the left shin or ankle. We're still opening that hip up. We're still getting into the glute. Ooh, that's why stretching's not good. All right, now, if you are all the way in pigeon, ankle up on your knee, you want to flex your toes in towards your shin. And you can just let go of the strap here, or you can keep holding on to it. And then we're just gonna sit up nice and tall. We're gonna stretch. This is a deep stretch on this right glute piriformis hip area. Navel towards your spine, nice and tall, and just breathe into it. We're gonna go ahead and release that. You can use that strap to get back down, shake it out. We're gonna do that same thing on the other side. Just go ahead and put that strap on the left foot and just straighten that leg any amount. It can be down, it can be up. You can lean back as long as your heart's lifted, no rounding of the shoulders. Just any amount to feel. If you feel a stretch on the back of your legs, you're doing the right amount. That's all you need. Flexing the toes in if you'd like. And we're going to start to open it out to the left side, so you can take that strap into the left hand and just start to open it up. Try to keep the legs straight if you can. And again, it might be on the floor, that's okay. It might be out here, this is okay. Be where you're at. Now you can stay here and hold on with this right hand, or you can deeper stretch this right arm out and up. And maybe if it doesn't hurt your neck at all, you can start to look towards that hand. It shouldn't hurt the neck at all though. There's lots of different options here. We're going to slowly start to come back in the center, bending that knee, placing the ankle on top of the right thigh knee. I can look down and see my right toes. Toes are flexed in. And again, you might be here. You might be here. Be where you're at today. Whatever you're doing, you're sitting up nice and tall and you're breathing. We're going to release the foot and set that strap aside. We're going to do a nice twist. Twists are wonderful. They are stress relieving. They are good for the digestive system, squeezing those toxins out, and they're great for spinal health. So we're going to turn to the left side of our chair. Both knees are facing to the left. So I have the back of the chair. I'm going to kind of use that, and I'm going to sit up nice and tall. You can even reach this right arm up so you sit up even taller. Inhale. As we exhale, with the exhale, twist to the back of the chair. Maybe you grab that back of the chair with both hands and use that to twist. Maybe you look towards the left shoulder, maybe not. Squeeze and twist, nice and tall. We're going to slowly come out. I want you to, I'm talking inch by inch. Very slowly. Take a breath. Let that blood flow. That blood is flowing and pumping now to the organs and to the spine. Everything is flowing and moving. That's a squeeze and release action we get in a lot of our yoga poses, which is healing and health to the entire body. And now we're going to turn both knees to the right side. I'm going to kind of scoot my booty back. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Inhale, reaching that left arm up, and then I'm going to exhale, twist to the back of the chair, grabbing the chair with both hands if I can, and then just using that for a gentle squeeze. So when you hold the squeeze, it stops the blood circulation for a moment. But when we release it, as long as we're breathing, very important, all that blood starts pumping through, and it has a cleansing effect. A healing effect. Squeeze it out, and then with the inhale, start to untwist, unsqueeze. Take a moment, let that blood and energy pump. Health and healing. Healing the organs, restoring the spine. And then let's come back into the center and sit back. And just get comfortable and ready for your Shavasana, final resting pose. I've told you in the other videos, and I always want to offer the option to have your feet up. Anytime you can have your feet up, that's wonderful for the heart. That's as good for your heart as doing cardio, just lifting the feet up. So you can place them, depending on how far up you can go without any discomfort in the spine. You can put them on a little footstool, maybe a few books, maybe an ottoman, or you can bring another chair in front and place them up there. Or you can just kind of bring your legs as wide as you comfortably feel comfortable and sit back. And we're gonna either close our eyes if you can, if you feel comfortable, or gaze softly down at one spot. Let's take a nice cleansing breath. We're not bending the head down. Inhale through the nose. Let's cleanse and let it out through the mouth. And just sit back here and rest and release for a few moments. No more holding on, no more controlling, no more forcing. The face is so relaxed, there's no expression. The chest is relaxed. The arms are heavy and releasing. The legs are completely soft. Even the spine and the belly. And just find your breath. Just locate it, don't force it, don't control it, and just watch it. Kind of like you're watching a movie. Feel the energy flowing through the body. Feel the breath. Feel the heart pumping life. From your head to your toes, to your fingertips. And start to move and wiggle your fingers and toes and hands and feet. And we're going to come back to that seated position at the top of our chair, nice and tall. We're going to inhale the arms overhead, palms together, down the center line of the body to your heart center. And we bow. Namaste. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful day.